Does hypnosis work for weight reduction and weight management? And if so, how does it work? Hi, my name's Bernice Fitzgibbon and I am a certified hypnotherapist, health and performance consultant and coach. And today I want to address the question I get asked quite often, and that is, does hypnosis work for weight reduction and management, and how does it work? So the simple answer is yes, it does work, but it's way more complex than that. So I will dive right in. But before I do so, let me just explain. I have got notes in front of me. The reason why I'm going to be checking on my notes, if I look down you'll know that's what I'm doing, is because I cannot put this on pause at any stage, so I'm just recording right through, and I don't want you to miss anything because I forget to tell you something. So just one thing, and this is, it always amuses me how people are so quick to get on to the latest weight loss craze. If it's a celebrity or something like that, whatever it is, they're very quick to get onto the latest weight loss craze without having any scientific evidence that it works or even that it's safe. Yet if you mention hypnotherapy and weight loss in the same sentence, it's, well, does it work? Is it scientifically proved? And is it safe? Or as one guy said, or believed, it was quackery. So let me clarify. Any weight loss program will work if you follow the program. However, if you understand how the mind works and the different physiological functions that go into the body when it comes to the relationship with food, then you will realize that using willpower alone has a limited lifespan, and sooner or later you'll put the weight on again with extra. So why is that? Well, your body is designed for survival. So anytime you go on a diet, especially one that's restrictive in calories or excludes certain food groups, your body releases hormones that increase your appetite and slow down your metabolism. It hardly seems fair, does it? No. Anyway, let's look at a couple of these. So let's take the ketosis diet that is popular at present. Yes, absolutely it works. And how it works is it drastically restricts the amount of carbohydrates that you have, that you eat, and so your body breaks down fats for energy. That's a very simplistic way of putting it. However, the issue with this is that the brain requires carbohydrates to function efficiently, and although it can use ketones as energy source, it is nowhere near as efficient as glucose. So you can suffer from brain fog, and your cognitive abilities can decrease. It is also a poor source for the muscles for energy, because the muscles rely on, again, carbohydrates or sugars for energy. So it's a poor source of energy, and you may find yourself performing poorly in any strenuous activity. It also can have other side effects like bad breath, constipation, and if continued over a long period of time, can cause liver and kidney damage. So the other one is fasting. And again, this can work well. However, the problem with this is if you're not careful, you can, like, say if during the day you fast during the day, you can find that you overeat at night, and you may even eat more at night time than you would have if you'd stretched your eating out or during the day. and you can quite often eat high calorie foods as well because you're hungry. You'll eat the wrong types of foods as well. So, as long as you're careful and you're aware of these things and you do it mindfully, then absolutely that can work. Now, this is all very simplified. If you want to learn more, I mean, there's lots of places that you can go to access information on any of these sorts of things. But just a word of caution that any weight loss program or anything like that you're planning on going on, especially if you have been overweight for a long period of time, or you have certain health issues and things like that, you need to kind of check with your health professional before you get started. So now we'll look at people that are overweight and or obese, and there are usually two reasons, and this again is keeping it simple, why they've got to that state. One's poor eating habits over a lifetime, so it can and tends to run in families. So you'll find that if the parents have poor eating habits and dietary choices, then you'll find that the children follow on, and so it becomes quite a vicious cycle in that respect. So keeping in mind that even so-called healthy foods, if eaten in excess, can put weight on. So I call this mindless eating. It's when you just eat, you don't think about what you're doing. It's not a mindful thing. It's not a thing that you do with any great thought. You just eat. And quite often just for the sake of eating, you don't think about what you're putting in your mouth. And the problem with this is the bigger you get, the less your body recognizes when it's full, and the more food it may need to eat to give you that sensation of being full. And the other problem is that quite often it's very poor quality food, so your cells aren't getting the nutrients they need to function, and so they keep giving out the signals that they need more food, and so you keep eating, and again another vicious cycle. And number two, the emotional eater. Now, this is the person that uses food to meet emotional needs, which obviously emotional eater, their emotions fuel their eating. And this could stem from previous traumas, either remembered or at an unconscious level. And but it can also be from boredom, anxiety, depression, loneliness, any emotional trigger that can set an emotional eater off to the fridge or to the nearest fast food or takeaway. But this also sets you up for a cycle of eating to feel better, and then feeling really bad about it, and then eating again to feel better. And again, it becomes a vicious cycle. And it tends to be the food you eat processed, high processed foods, because they're fast, high sugar foods and fats and other harmful substances. And this only increases your craving for that food. So you can see the chances of either of these people or either of these people keeping the weight off, even if they lose it in the short term, because the moment the emotional triggers happen, like a hard day at work or some situation or life event happening that triggers your emotions, then you use your usual form of comforting yourself, which is food. And the same with the mindless eater. Out with friends, been very good for the week, go out with friends, and everybody's eating and you go to a restaurant and you forget, or you've had a few beers after work or a few drinks after work, and so you just eat anything and everything in sight, because quite often alcoholic beverages do make you hungry, and it seems to never be for the healthy foods. It's always for something that's quick and easy, and it normally puts on the weight. So again, you can see how this is a vicious cycle. So once a behaviour or habit has been established, like these particular ones, once they've been established, it's very hard, very difficult to change. Our mind works on patterns. So once a pattern has been established, it becomes automatic, and anything outside that pattern doesn't make it into the unconscious mind where change takes place. Example, think about, say, a car. Now, there's a particular car that you wouldn't even think about or whatever, but all of a sudden you've decided that you want to buy this particular car. And it comes into your mind, and all of a sudden you see all these cars, exactly the same car, on the road. You begin to notice them, whereas before you would never have seen them, and they were all there before. You start to think, oh look, there's one of those cars, so you begin to see them, whereas you hadn't noticed them before. It is the same with patterns of behaviour. You develop a pattern, and so anything that's within that pattern or that belief system gets into your mind or into your thoughts and focus, and anything that doesn't fit into those patterns gets excluded. It doesn't make it into your mind. So you can see how willpower, which originates in the conscious mind, doesn't work, because the moment the conscious mind gets distracted, which can happen very easily, then willpower goes out the window and you go back to your automatic patterns of behaviour. So if something traumatic happens, then your willpower won't work. You'll go back to your usual way of behaving. Now, how does this happen? Why does this happen? So what I want you to be aware of is that you may think your thoughts control your actions. However, it is the emotions behind those thoughts that's the fuel that drives you. So your thoughts, although you can control them for a certain period of time, it's your emotions that drive the driving force behind your actions or your behaviours. And so you need to change the driver before you can change the habit. And that is what hypnosis does. Through hypnosis, you reprogram the driver, your unconscious mind. Then you can implement the necessary nutritional and exercise programs that, are going to, set up a new pattern of behaviour, and that is what's going to reduce the weight and set you off onto a new path, a healthier lifestyle. So what I'm talking about is a lifestyle makeover, not a short-term fix. Hypnosis is not a get out of jail card. It's not, well, you fixed me. That doesn't happen it isn't like that. I can't fix you, and I think that's what you need to be aware of. What I do is what hypnosis does is it gets you into a relaxed state so that your unconscious mind is more open to the positive suggestions that I may be using to help you change the way you behave or the actions you take or, the programming in your unconscious mind. However, if you are not on board with any of that, then there is no way that I can change your behaviors or the way you think or what you believe. I cannot control your thoughts or your mind. What I do is I offer positive suggestions, or hypnosis offers you positive suggestions that will benefit you and that you want, the changes you want to implement. And so therefore you're going to be more receptive to the change. Now, I hope that's explained hypnosis to you. All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So I cannot do it to you or for you. I can only help you to get into a state where you're more open to positive change. And yes, if you have any questions or anything like that, then go to the Facebook page, Guided Hypnosis with Bernice Fitzgibbon, or send me a private message. And just be aware that I am open. I do consultancy. I can either do it via Skype or on a one-on-one basis, but obviously it depends where you live as to whether it can be on a one-on-one basis or face-to-face is really what I'm trying to say, or over Skype. But check out the services I provide, and if you are interested in the 6 audios, the perfect size, just go and I think you'll find them at guidedhypnosis.net /perfect-size. And that's really all I have to tell you or to talk about today, and I hope that's helped, and I hope that's explained or given you some insight as to how hypnosis works for weight reduction and weight management.